Peace, family. We're back for another lesson of our self-mastery course. Again, this is your opportunity to have a resource for motivation, inspiration, real-life aspiration, but that you can apply to the rest of your curriculum in the J. Morrison Academy. So it's myself, J. Morrison, the founder, and boss queen, Roberta Hosky, here. And this lesson is on mindset shift. Like what we do know, what we realize in our lives is that everything starts with the decisions that we make, and it starts with your mind and what I call your paradigm, right? I watched a great video that talked about your paradigm being like your lens, like how you view the world. And you can see the world through different glasses. So you can see the world as, poor me, why me, and optimistically, or you can see the world as, or pessimistically, you can see the world as optimistically and say, you know what, how can I? Mm-hmm. So like in the J. Morrison Academy and just within our real estate development company, we've identified that there's 5 kinds of rich people, right? There's people that are cash rich, that have money in the bank, savings, mattress, safety deposit box, your shoe box, right? So you're cash rich. There's people that are asset rich, who have either CDs, commodities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. There's people that are equity rich, who just have equity in their homes, and that's what they can leverage in order to build more wealth. There's people that are credit rich, people that have credit in which they can leverage that credit, which we teach on how to leverage your credit and pull out cash and invest in that, right? So you could be cash rich, equity rich, asset rich, credit rich, or you can be rich in ambition. And that's someone that ain't got none of that, but you got the drive and you're willing to say, how can I? And that, I think, is the key words to having the right mindset. It's not that I can, it's always how can I? And it goes back to I remember being on the corner class, doing our 24-hour corner class here in Atlanta. Like I planned a 24-hour class that I never did before, and I taught 12 lessons in 24 hours just because it was like, how can I want to do this, right? I never looked at what I can't do. Yeah. But during that corner class, a supporter of ours came to me and was like, Jay, you're my idol. Jay, you're my idol. I'll rock with you. What do I get? How can I get started in real estate? I watch all your YouTube videos. I said, Ken, you watch all my YouTube videos, you're going to ask me how you get started in real estate? One, I tell you in the videos, but 2, have you been to my school yet? Have you been to the academy? And he's like, nah, I can't afford it. I said, King, our tuition right now is $149 a month. That's $5 a day. That's $35 a week. So you telling me as a grown man, you can't come up with $5 a day? You can stand on a corner with a cup in your hand and get $5 a day. You can Uber drive and get $5 a day. You can work at a part-time job at a fast food restaurant and get $5 a day. You can babysit and get $5 a day. You can mow lawns and get $5 a day. You can braid hair and get $5 a day. So it's not that you can't afford it. You never asked yourself, how can I afford it? Because you didn't want it bad enough. And that's how I look at everything in life. It's like, even when I look at my big social goals or humanitarian goals or real estate goals, or I want to have a skyscraper, I want to unify black people, I want to repair my community. Very big, bodacious goals we're going to talk about. But I always go back to and revert back to, well, how can I? Okay. So when you look at, again, in regards to mind shift, the key I want you all to write down is to stop telling yourself what you can't do and always revert to back, how can I? It'll make you solution oriented, and that's the right way to look at life.
I agree. I want to just touch a little bit more too about the paradigm. And for those of you taking notes, if you're not taking notes, get out your pen and paper and take some notes right now. I'll give you a minute to take out your pen and paper, or your iPad, your phone, whatever you're going to take your notes on. So go ahead, get together. All right, so I want to give you some notes about the paradigm. Paradigm is super, super important. What a paradigm is a pattern of behaviors that we acquire over our lifetime. Now, think about it. It's a pattern of behaviors that we acquire over our lifetime. Now, let me just think about this. Think about the baby. You can put a baby, you can take twins, right? Take twins, a boy, a girl, 2 girls, 2 boys, doesn't matter. You put twins, and let's separate them at birth, right? And you put one twin, one baby, in a household that speaks Spanish, speaks English, and speaks German. Put that baby in that household, and guess what the baby will speak? 3 different languages, right? 3 different languages, just gonna happen. Take the same baby, put it, him or her, in a household that just speaks English, and guess what you're gonna get? A baby that just speaks English. What happened? We're products of our environment, whether we like it or not. It's just the way it is. We are programmed by the outside. So we've created patterns of behavior, right? So there's patterns of behavior that we acquire from our parents, from our grandparents, from people that we were surrounded with, young. We're most impressionable young. That's why if you want to teach somebody a new language, you teach them while they're young. You teach them while they're young. We all have the same playing ground. We all start fresh. We all do. It's just the environment in which we grew up in that creates the patterns that we have developed, the patterns that we're developed. And so what we are, we're a bunch of other people's thoughts. So that's basically what we are. So if you were in an environment where you had people that had low self-esteem and always said, like you said, I can't do this, or this is not going to work, or nothing works good for me, guess what? You're going to develop that habit of thinking, nothing works out for good, and this isn't going to work out for me. You didn't ask for that behavior pattern, you didn't ask for that thought, but it's just here, right? And so do you ever wonder where that came from? It starts with your paradigm. So when we talk about a paradigm shift, we have to talk about shifting the behavior patterns, right, that cause us to think the way we think. So how do you do that? How do you do that? Like, how do you shift your behavior patterns that cause you to think the way you think? Well, guess what? It didn't happen overnight. Like I said, I gave the example of the 2 babies, right? So it's been years. This is something that you have to be, as Jay said, very intentional about. So before you do anything, you think, then you act, and then those actions dictate your outcomes. So every outcome you've ever achieved in life all started with your thought. So think about how powerful that is. Think about it. So if you want to change your outcomes, you don't necessarily start in the middle and just start changing your behavior. That's why we have yo-yo dieters. People who you diet one day, then you don't diet the next day. And this is why we have people who are career starting businesses and never really finish it. You start a business and you never finish, or this is why you have all these people in the middle, because they're trying to change the outcomes in their life without getting to the root of the problem. They're doing it the middle part, the actions. They're trying to do the actions, but they have to get to the root, which is your paradigm, which is your thoughts.
They never made their mind up. They never made their mind up that I'm going to do this, I'm committed to doing this.
Yes, they may have made up their mind, but what happens is the paradigm overrides their thought process. So it's almost like that. You remember growing up and you watch a cartoon, you got the good guy over here and the bad guy over here, and you're like doing this, and you listen to the good guy and you listen to the bad guy. That's really what happens inside of our head. It really is. So if you don't understand how to let that willpower of I made up my mind and have that, here's my word, that's not a word, stickability, it's going to keep getting overridden. It's going to keep getting overridden. But what happens is, because our paradigms were shaped over time, the change in behavior has to happen over time. That's why the repetition is good. So I have, the meditation cards that I do that I actually created. The meditation cards, it's over and over and over. You have to retrain your mind by repetition. You have to be repetitive. So one of my cards that I have, my first card is, my name is Roberta and I'm destined for greatness. I said this to all 3 of my children. If I say, what's your name? My children will automatically, without even thinking, say, my name is Dante and I'm destined for greatness. My name is Oliver and I'm destined for greatness. My name is Ali and I'm destined for greatness. Why? Because I programmed them that way. But see, they didn't say, my name is Dante and the world's gonna be doomed, or my name is Dante and I'm not sure how I'm gonna figure this life out. No, they're destined for greatness. I still say it today. Every single day, every time I think about it, I'm destined for greatness. Whatever greatness is. Again, I don't even know what it is, but I know it's better than where I've been. But it's over time, and as you begin to do things over and over and over, what happens is we could get into subconscious and conscious. Your subconscious mind overrides your conscious, and so when you reprogram your subconscious by repetition over and over, then you start seeing the results. Then you start seeing the results. Then you get that stickability. Then you get that real willpower, not that little bit of get up and play and fall back down. Right. You have to really be intentional, repetition, and to one, like I said, write this down. Most people don't even know that. Don't even understand the root of your issue is how you were raised in an environment. And you probably heard, you don't have to be a product of your environment. Yeah, you are. Right. You can't help it. But it doesn't mean that you have to stay in that mindset and that frame of mind of your environment. I'm an environment of the projects. Do I still got some ghetto on me? Best believe. But put me in a boardroom and I know how to turn it on and turn it off. I've been able to shift my paradigm, and that's what we're going to teach you to do.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about in our next lesson, what you guys are going to get is about willpower. And that's something that I've used to change my paradigm. And it's difficult, and you're certainly right about consistency and about creating habits and reprogramming yourself. But I'm going to talk to you, we're going to talk to you guys about willpower in our next lesson. So see you then. Peace.